Now, and prices are trading at their lowest level since mid-October. West Texas, that's WTI, is set for its biggest monthly drop since the month of May. How much more are prices likely to fall post the spreading of the coronavirus? Let's ask Peter McGuire of XM.com. Peter, thanks very much for taking out the time. We've seen crude oil prices correct about 9.5% in the last 5 or 6 trading sessions. Do you see a further downside from here on the back of the possibility of demand coming off due to the issues related to coronavirus?
Well, good afternoon. I mean, that's the $64 million question. The market has been hammered to the downside. It's been shorts are all over. It's been, when you've got a market that falls as quickly as this and as savagely, it's very hard to bet against the street. And that's where traders are looking at it, and they're saying, well, it's easier to go short than long because unless you get it right, you're going to get whipsawed out, and that's where the real danger is. So I feel as though there's more downside yet. And we had an interesting day in Asia. Korea was well down. Australia was down a little bit. Let's see what happens as far as US tonight. And we all know that the Shanghai market or China is not open until the 3rd of February. So that's where the market is at the moment. And I think, yes, there is further downside.
So do you feel that WTI could reach $52 per barrel anytime soon?
Well, it's 52.78. I got it on the screen now. So let's say, it's not going to take too much. You could be through there tonight. If you get New York spank it down further than this, that's only down 1.5% to break 52. I just feel as though there's momentum to the downside. The Dow, let's see what happens there, and let's see if there's general selling. And are China saying the actual numbers, can they bank on them? It's a different proposition to what we saw in 2002 or 3 with SARS. The economy's far larger today, so let's just wait and see what happens over the next 24 to 48 hours and whether those numbers continue to ratchet up as far as, are they containing it, or are we going to see further outbreaks? Australia's already got 5 or 6 people with coronavirus, so I'm sure that there are many other nations that are starting to, feel this very, very severely.
Right. Peter, so that's the concern with regards to the demand side of it. From the supply side of it, does it bother you with what's been happening with Libya and the fact that oil output could fall to just about 72,000 barrels per day from the 1.2 million barrels that we've been used to seeing on the back of these blockades of the oil facilities?
Yeah, I'm conscious of Libya. I'm also mindful that I think that we've got enough oil in the short run to dispel any fears that side. Again, I feel as though this quarter could be an interesting one. I don't really see any problems out there in the short run, but who's to know what can happen come, April or May. We've got our next OPEC meeting around that sort of time zone as well. So I think if there's any too much problems out there, I'm sure that they'll turn the taps on harder in Saudi and a few of the other markets to worry about any shortfalls.
Do you think any measures can be taken to support crude oil prices from here?
Let's see what happens as US dollar. If this is short-lived, this coronavirus, then I think it'll bounce again. I think everything will go up. It'll be a big uptick. But we had such a huge market move in the last, 4 to 5 months of 2019. For equities, for commodities, and certainly the steam's coming out of them now. So unless you see something, if Corona is short-lived, then I feel as though the market will rally and everything will go. It'll be resume and it'll be back to game on. But if it's a long-winded affair and no one knows that, there's not one trader in the world that can put hand on heart to say this is short-lived, then we could see further softness and further sell-offs across many of the sectors.
All right. Difficult to say whether this is going to be short-lived or not. But Peter, thanks very much for joining us.